With new police technology over the years, a new police investigation team has now been placed on Tupac Shakur's case, as there has been new evidence being found every single week that could relate to Tupac still being alive. It really makes this interview with rapper named Treach feel strange, because in 2010, Treach was interviewed on the topic of Tupac before a concert. Treach and Tupac were very close friends back in the day, and they even worked on a few albums together. But here's where things get interesting. After Treach's interview, the cameraman forgot to stop recording. He places his camera onto the floor, and in the footage, you can hear the interviewer asking Treach about Tupac, to which Treach responds, "Last time I saw him, he was in Cuba."
So if you ain't ready for it, get on the sidewalk.
One last question. Nobody knows. Y'all good? Yeah, we good. Thanks a lot, man. We good.
Last time I saw him, he was in Treach.
Then, only 1 week later, a video would be released onto a news website showing a video of Tupac supposedly chilling in a parking lot inside of Cuba.
Look, zoom in. That's Pac, man. He with the outlaws. And Reg from Holla Back is trying to be friendly and get autographs. Holla Back exclusive, baby. Holla Back.
This is what created the Tupac is alive in Cuba theory, and it has been the most popular theory ever since. However, now in 2024, it is really not seeming like a theory anymore, as it begins with an officer revealing that Tupac was an industry plant, and his job was to stop the beef between the red and blue street teams.
What did you find most fascinating about the alternative history of Tupac?
Well, it turns out when I talked to Tupac's longtime mentor, political mentor, former Black Panther Chokwe Lumumba, who was his first business manager, he's told me, I basically asked, well, was Tupac only pretending to be in order to appeal to gangs and politicize them? And he said yes. And that was part of his thug life agenda that he came up with his imprisoned stepfather, Tupac Shakur. And so Tupac was just using that in order to get the and the leaders to call peace truces, first in Los Angeles, then throughout California, and then throughout the country. And that was why he was pretending to be this type. And really, he was just an intellectual prodigy.
Then obviously, with the plan not working, he would then suddenly sadly pass. Snoop Dogg would then be asked to react to this investigator's interview. Snoop Dogg would then claim that he was actually supposed to be in the BMW with Tupac and Suge Knight on the night that Tupac sadly passed.
You were with Tupac, though, in regards to Tupac. I heard a story, did you give him different advice that night on where to go?
I didn't give him no advice.
Right.
We wasn't seeing eye to eye.
Right.
So
saying during the Tyson.
Yeah, this incident that I'm explaining to you right now was the day before that.
Okay.
So when they got to Vegas, they went their way, I went back. I mean, when we got to LA, they went to Vegas and I went home. That's why I wasn't in the car with them.
This would end up getting the attention of a police force that is investigating the passing. It would then be reported Snoop Dogg arrested in connection to the Tupac Shakur incident. Police are questioning a recent interview by the rapper where he claims that he was supposed to be in the BMW with Tupac and Suge. The topic of Tupac came up during Snoop Dogg's interview because of Suge Knight's recent tweets. The tweets of, "This little guy is responsible for the passing of Tupac," as well as another tweet from an anonymous account only one day before, "I've been quiet for too long. First month of 2024, I'll be announcing what's really going on with Tupac." As this made many believe that Suge Knight is revealing the truth through several Twitter accounts, and some of them being anonymous. As Suge Knight agrees that Tupac is alive. He has said so in so many interviews over the course of the last 2 decades. As one interview, Suge Knight makes a very convincing case that Tupac is still here, where he mentions that Tupac was doing fine in the hospital right before his passing, where he states, "When I left that hospital, me and Tupac were laughing and joking. I don't see how someone can turn from doing well to doing bad."
I mean, when I left that hospital, me and Pac was laughing and joking. So I don't see how somebody can turn from doing well to doing bad.
So you seriously think that he might still be alive?
I gonna tell you this, Pac, you never know.
But what's strange about this is that Tupac was supposedly in a deep sleep, according to police records. So how in the world would he and Suge be laughing if Tupac was in a deep sleep? It doesn't seem to add up, but even in a 2008 interview, Suge Knight said the exact same thing. Tupac was alive and he was well.
So he was conscious on the way to the hospital?
He was conscious on the way to the hospital, he was conscious in the ambulance, he was conscious after they did the surgery.
What was the last thing that he said to you?
They love me.
However, the concerning part was after the 2008 interview, only 3 days later, Suge Knight almost lost his life in a nightclub when a man used a firearm in his direction 6 times. Suge knew immediately that it was likely due to him talking about Tupac in a public interview, so he didn't tell the police anything. Suge Knight's own son, Suge Jr., would make a similar mistake. In 2018, Suge Knight's son took it to Instagram, stating that Tupac was alive and well, and that he was living in Malaysia. Then right after, Suge Jr. would post this. Another photo to Instagram showing a text conversation where someone messages "You have said too much, it's now time for you to go." This is then when Suge Jr. would begin panicking, posting tons of photos of Tupac alongside modern day celebrities like 50 Cent and Beyonce. He really made it seem like someone was going after him for leaking all this info. As on the photo with Tupac and Beyonce, he captioned it, "He never left us, but they'll be after me soon." While some believe that it was a publicity stunt for Suge Jr. to gain social media clout, others believe that it was actually factual, as Suge Jr. would be the one to know more about the case than anyone else in the world, considering his father was right there at the scene of the crime. Now, with the addition of the new police task force of the Tupac case, I was able to find their files of evidence of the passing of Tupac Shakur. Now, I want you to compare all the evidence I shared of him being alive to these police files, as it begins with the police arresting a man named Keefe D in connection to the crime.
For 27 years, the family of Tupac Shakur has been waiting for justice. We are here today to announce the arrest of 60-year-old Dwayne Keith Davis, aka Keefe D, of Tupac Shakur. Davis was arrested this morning by my LVMPD criminal apprehension team, and this investigation started on the night of September 7th, 1996. It has taken countless hours, really decades, of work by the men and women of our section to get to where we are today.
As on September 7th, 1996, Tupac was in Las Vegas with the head of his record label named Suge Knight. They went off to the MGM Grand to watch a Mike Tyson match, as after it was over and they were leaving the hotel, they ended up spotting an op inside of the lobby of the hotel, and they confronted him immediately.
Suge Knight and their entourage went to the Mike Tyson at the MGM Grand. Keefe D and his nephew, Orlando Lane Anderson, and 2 of their friends were also there. Keefe D told LAPD Detective Greg Kading more than a decade ago, in a proffer that couldn't be used against him, the shooting was retaliation after Tupac jumped Orlando and beat him up at the casino. Surveillance cameras recorded the fight. Tupac was angry that Lane had stolen his necklace years prior in Compton. Tupac, Suge Knight, and the entourage left the casino quickly.
As security would end up breaking up the altercation between Tupac, Suge, and the ops, Tupac and Suge would then go their own way, heading back to their hotel to change their clothes. The two would then go off to a club that is owned by Suge Knight himself, but sadly they didn't make it there, because at 11 p.m., while the two were driving to the club, things would go down right in the middle of the street at a red light.
Knew about Tupac's concert at the Club 662. Members, including Orlando and Keefe D, jumped in their white Cadillac and started cruising the strip looking for the offender. Before long, they finally spotted Tupac's caravan. At the intersection of East Flamingo Boulevard and Koval Lane, the white Cadillac pulled alongside the black BMW with Suge on the driver and Tupac on the passenger seats. The back window of the Cadillac rolled twice in the chest, once in the arm, once in the thigh.
With the aftermath of the incident being a mystery now for 2 decades, in 2024, new evidence has now been found because the police investigated a concerning interview by a man named Keefe D. He was featured on DJ Vlad's show, and during his interview, he details the moments of literally finding Tupac in the middle of the street and pulling up on him.
And Bubble Up was the driver, and Baby Lane and Freaky were in the backseat.
We was just all in the car together. Just say that.
This was the white Cadillac.
Yeah.
So you guys are driving around, and then you hear these girls say, "Tupac, Tupac."
Got to the light,
He was gonna go drink, and he happened to be hanging out the window. He's hanging out the window like he was in a parade.
Tupac.
Yeah, he was.
So what happens next? You said that as you're driving up towards the BMW, with Suge driving and Tupac in the passenger seat.
This was an extremely bold claim to make on DJ Vlad's show. Vlad would be very skeptical of what he was saying, so he would want some more proof of what he's actually admitting here. This is then when Keefe D would confirm it by sharing a never-before-seen police interrogation on the night of the crime.
Lane starts. You say Suge looks over, he sees you. He looks right at you.
Yeah, he looks at me.
Okay. When he looks over at you, and then Tupac's busy getting. Evidently, the story is Tupac's trying to either get out of the
back seat or something.
Yeah. What do you see happening inside of their car?
I seen him going Suge head. I thought he was.
So Orlando his car crossed Dre.
He leaned over on the window. We rolled down the window.
With Keefe D releasing this footage for the first time ever, everybody was so surprised and speechless. He not only announced that he was at the crime scene, he was inside of the car and even made eye contact with Suge Knight while it was going down. What he said next, however, was even more concerning, where he would end up revealing that Tupac Shakur was reaching for his firearm, which is what started the entire incident.
You said that as you're driving up towards the BMW, with Suge driving and Tupac in the passenger seat, and you said that Tupac pulled out
It looked like he was reaching, yeah. Yeah, it did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you actually?
No, once he got the reaching, I got the ducking.
So someone from your car
That's what happened.
started at Tupac and Suge.
Now, during the police's investigation, they were also able to find Keefe D's official reaction to Tupac's passing, trying to see if he had any sort of regret for what him and his friends did.
Yeah, I hate that happened, dog. I really do, man. Because it took a lot of people's lives, dude. I hate that happen. Promise to God. I feel they should, that was wrong, man. It was just wrong, purely wrong. You know what I'm saying? I wish it never happened. You know what I'm saying? That's my opinion on it. It never happened, dude. You know what I'm saying? I lost my Colombian plug. You know what I'm saying? Been having the feds up for 15 years. Couldn't do nothing. Couldn't catch a break, bro. You know what I'm saying? And I did time behind.
However, this is where things get very weird. Keefe D ended up writing an entire book on being involved in Tupac Shakur's passing, titled Compton Street Legend, where inside of the book, he literally hints towards doing the crime, and this book was released quite some time ago. So why is he now just being arrested for it after all of these years? Fans believe that it is a cover-up that Tupac Shakur is still alive, with evidence being more clear that there is a good chance of it. Throwing an elderly man in jail and blaming him for the incident seems like an easy way out. While some don't believe that Hollywood would do that, it really makes you wonder how far you think Hollywood will go. Comment down below your theory of Tupac Shakur. I'll be investigating it as well as sharing it in a future video.